Good morning, Intro to Speech and Debate class. This is Mr. Pulsifer here. It is Monday morning, and I hope that you are as stoked as I am for the new week. Now, if you don't know, we are going to be doing this online version of learning through the rest of the year. I know it stinks. I wish that we could have time to hang out together, but I think you're going to be kind of excited because I'm trying to find some ways that you guys can do some assignments that you normally wouldn't get to do in our regular Intro to Speech and Debate class. Now, before we begin, for the next little bit, we're going to have units every 2 weeks. So what's going to happen is on week 1, I'll do a video like I'm doing right now. We'll probably have some discussion boards, some supplemental activities, or supplemental videos, so you'll kind of get some ways to see what we're going to be working towards at the end of the week. And then when we switch into the second week of the unit, then that's going to be where you're going to be creating your product, your speech, whatever you have to do for the upcoming week. Now, this week, I want to talk about persuasion. All right, we see persuasive speeches all the time in our normal everyday lives. People are always trying to get us to do something, to buy something, to believe in a certain topic or cause. And there are 3 ways that people do this. The first is ethos. All right, so we have 3 different things. We have ethos, number 2 is pathos, and number 3 is logos. So I'm going to be breaking down what each of these things looks like and giving you some examples after this video in a little playlist on our YouTube or class YouTube. All right, so the first is ethos. So I would say that ethos is when you find someone who's an expert on a subject or on a product and use them to help persuade people to follow you. So for example, if you were wanting to sell a basketball that was super awesome, you might use Michael Jordan to do that, right? So that would be an ethos move. Michael Jordan would be able to say, hey, I'm an expert in basketball. I'm credible, right? He's won so many world championships. And you would have him to sell your product. So ethos, remember, that's an expert. So E equals expert. Now, the second one was pathos. And pathos is making an emotional appeal to get people to follow your cause or buy your product. So if you think about it, the ASPCA, the society that gets rid of animal cruelty, they are a perfect example of pathos. So they have really sad commercials that make you want to donate to them to save abandoned animals. You have these for endangered species, right? All these sorts of different programs. They tug on your heartstrings. They make you say, oh my goodness, I'm so sad. I'm going to give you my money, or I'm going to support you, right? So pathos, you're making an emotional appeal. Now the final one is logos. Now logos starts with an L, and it sounds a lot like logic, and that's exactly what logos is. You're using logic to get someone to do what you want. So this is where you will bring in facts, statistics, give them data so that they have no other option but to simply do what you want to do, right? So you might say, it has been shown that 37% of people who get my product do better in school, right? And so someone might be saying, oh my goodness, he's giving me this data. It's logical. I'm going to do it. Now, these 3 things are what helps anybody make a persuasive argument. Some may just use 1, some may use 2. The best will use a combination of all 3 to get people to do what they want. Now, your job, not this week, you can get a jump start on it if you want, but by next week, you are going to be in charge of doing 2 things for me. Number 1, coming up with a real or fictional product. And 2, you are going to use ethos, pathos, and logos, or one of them, to create an infomercial. So you guys are going to step into the shoes of such people as Billy Mays and Phil Swift, and you are going to be creating a product and trying to get the rest of the class to buy it by filming a lovely, awesome infomercial. Now, your infomercial can be funny. It can have you guys doing some goofy things, and remember, it can be a real or fictional product, right? So if it's something that doesn't exist, you may have to kind of mock up like a little prototype or explain what it is. But your job is to sell that product to the rest of the class. Now, please, 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 let's make sure that we're being, I guess I should say, credible with this. So don't just give me a rehash of a Phil Swift flex tape commercial. That would be ridiculous, right? So do something new, do something exciting. All right. Now that's next week. What you're going to be doing this week is you're going to be jumping on discussion board. I'm going to be showing you an example of each of these, an example of ethos, pathos, and logos. I'm going to ask you guys to find 3 videos on the internet and give me a 3-sentence write-up on why each of those is an example of the one you chose, right? So find an ad that represents ethos, put it into your discussion board, 3 sentences on why it's ethos. Pathos, 3 sentences. Logos, 3 sentences. All right. Now, we have some of you that think that 3 words are a sentence. You guys are almost in 7th grade, so let's step it up and make sure that we're writing actual sentences. And as we've done with our discussion boards in the past, I want you to respond to 5 different people. All right. It doesn't have to be people in your class. Because we'll have everyone that's in Intro to Speech and Debate on the same discussion board, but respond to 5 people and comment on whether you liked the ads that they chose, if you have questions, right? If someone says, you know, their ad is pathos and it doesn't match up, say, hey, can you explain to me why that video is pathos? It doesn't seem like it to me. And that will be a response, right? So let's make sure your responses are good as well. So no just like 5-second responses. All right, so that's what we're doing this week. Discussion board on ethos, pathos, logos, so I can make sure that you guys understand it. Next week, you're going to be putting it into action. I'll film a video along with you guys for this infomercial thing. And what we're going to be doing is next week dropping it into our discussion board. So everyone's going to be able to see your video. They can watch you give this, and then they can give you some feedback and critiques. Now, if you're going to be a little bit nervous or don't know how to turn that video into discussion board, I'll have another video out today or this week that will show you exactly how to turn this in. So I'll put my canvas into student view and just narrate how to turn this in. So it should be pretty easy. All right, guys. Now, as always, if you have any questions, you can email me, gage.pulsifer@canyonsdistrict.org, or you can find me at meet.google.com, code Breakfast News with Mr. P. Remember, I'm on from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., so if you have any questions, just stop by. I'm on pretty much every single day. Some days I may be off because I have other stuff going, but stop in any of those times. And if you need some extra help or clarification and want to do it face-to-face, just send me an email. We can set up a meet at that time, all right? So I hope you guys are having a good one. Put on your persuasive speaking hats, learn about ethos, pathos, and logos, and think to yourself, what product can you sell? I'm hoping to see some good videos. I'm going to actually be ready to cruise through your cooking videos. I've seen a couple already that are super awesome. So let's have fun with this and show your classmates what you can do. All right, guys, happy Monday.